Hello, and welcome to day 3 of my Vlogmas. My name's Pyra Draculea. I guess I should say that, although it kind of said. I think I'm remembering to put that in the titling. So, I am the cartoonist for a webcomic called Noah's Archipelago, and we have met Noah, and that was day 1. I also do Ricky B. the Rock and Roll Rat. Which I'm doing on kind of the even days. But today is an odd day, December 3rd. So, moving along the list, we got Ursula, Noah's daughter. Now, I did remember to get my palette ready. I'm trying to show the colors but not tip it because, this is always runny stuff. And let's get started. I think the blue outline sketch does show a little bit on camera, not a whole lot. So you can probably see that we've got Ursula going to make her demands of Santa. But let's start with the background. And again, I'm kind of trying to work light to dark. So starting with some yellow bauble dot sort of things, and we'll add some other colors as we go. And ye oldie fashionedy dip pen. So Ursula, she is the eldest daughter of Noah and his wife Ruth, and she is in 3rd grade and 8 years old, and she would rather quit school to become a full-time, not even a full-time cartoonist, no, full-time cartoon watcher is her professional aspirations. I don't know exactly how she plans to make that pay off, but, she'll figure it out. Maybe. That's her hope. And the other thing is, because the webcomic kind of works, you can do it a couple ways. You can do it what I would call sitcom rules, which is kind of like you think of a show like The Simpsons. Time never passes, nothing ever changes type of idea. And traditionally that's how sitcoms have been done. Where, you go through, I'm adding some gold stuff in now. You go through, you do have, your annual holidays every year. Every season would have a Christmas special and all that sort of stuff, and summer vacation. But honestly, it never matters, because in the end, the characters are static, and they don't learn lessons and all that sort of stuff. In a way, I guess you could say it's kind of like Groundhog Day, although sitcoms were written that way before Groundhog Day came out. We actually had earlier this fall, I had a little plot arc in the webcomic where Noah kind of discovered around back to school time, or not discovered so much, but strongly suspected that nothing ever changed in his life, and he was on a 1-year loop, but nobody else agreed with him, or everybody thought he was just talking about, that's just called being in a rut, or you need a new hobby, or whatnot. Ursula is the one who called out that this was fiction, and her reasoning, of course, not that she knows anything about time loops, but as she kind of rightly intuited, if indeed everything was on a inescapable loop and everything was repeated forever, that would mean you would get a lot of practice, which would mean that Noah would be able to win her bigger and better teddy bears at the fall fair, and the fact that he doesn't proves that nothing is on a repeat in Ursula's mind. The reality is they're on a repeat, so she is perpetually in 3rd grade and complaining about her perpetually new teacher, Miss Fardamar, who I'm sure the feeling is most likely mutual. But that's that. So Ursula's hobbies, aside from watching cartoons, she does draw. She is obsessed with dinosaurs, as she feels all right thinking people must be. And, in fact, if the lack of dinosaurs be one of her considerations for what makes something boring. For example, I mentioned that there was a little plot where the Thorsens went to Vegas to see the U2 residency in 2023, and Ursula is talking in the front row with her parents and Noah's ex-wife Denise and Denise's husband and Denise's daughter Cindy, who Cindy and Ursula are pen pals and very similar in personality, and they were commiserating in the front row that they could do so much more with this joint, i.e. the sphere. And this show is boring because there's no dinosaurs, there's no cartoons with coyotes getting splatted, all these sorts of things. So, in Ursula's mind, the sphere is a $2 billion boondoggle waste of opportunity. And Santa's glass would go be a little bit extra thick, but that's okay. And let's see here. Ursula, because probably under the influence of her elder brothers, Adam being a goth club DJ and Duke being kind of a metalhead. Ursula's official favorite band is Metallica, because Duke has told her he will disown her if she doesn't agree that the first 4 Metallica albums are the greatest ever released. But she's also into stuff like Bauhaus and Joy Division and whatnot. And, there's the internet meme about girls being asked to name 3 songs. This does happen when Ursula goes to buy a copy of Joy Division's Unknown Pleasures in LP form, but it's not a dude who does this. It's a girl, punk rock girl with a bunch of facial piercings, and Ursula does name 3 deep album cuts, and then is deeply annoyed when she sees that the record's going to cost her $40, and she wants to know if she can get a discount by naming an additional 3. Unfortunately for her, the answer is no. What else can we say about Ursula? Her best friend is Lily, Lily is the daughter of... Oops, I got silver on my fingers. Gotta watch where I'm putting my pinky down for support. Anyways, Lily is one of her classmates and is the daughter of one of her their moms work together. So Ursula's mom, Ruth, is a 2nd grade teacher, and Lily's mom, Linda, is the kindergarten teacher at their local school. Sorry, I'm like pausing and looking. Do I want to add more colored dots? Probably I do, but we'll do that afterwards. Well, actually, I'll add some rose gold. A few little bubbles here and there. This rose gold is very goopy. I don't know that I have used it very much before this week. Which then maybe that's the problem, is that I bought it and stuck it in my drawer or my shelf, and then I haven't really used it, and that's why it's kind of thickened up. It is what it is. That's kind of the motto of all these sorts of projects, right? It's kind of funny when... Sorry for the little edit point. Kind of like in yesterday's video? Yeah, the Ricky video. I think somewhere in the middle I heard a beep from the camera, and when I looked over my shoulder it said hard disk full. I had that again, even though I deleted stuff yesterday, but, the Vlogmas video is kind of They're a bit long, so I guess that's why that's happening. Anyways, I think what I was starting to say was that Ursula. I was starting to say, oh, it's kind of funny because, when I first was coming up with Noah's Archipelago, and I tell that story on the first day of Vlogmas with Noah, because I kind of envision him as kind of this, the rival for the character Glenn, who ended up not being the main character. I kind of assumed that it was mostly going to be about Noah and his bandmates, and we'd have some mention, sure, of the wife and kids, but that was basically going to be all about Noah's professional life as a cover band dude. Getting a little paranoid that the little blob of water under her, at the end of her scarf might run, so I'm just going to dab it and just accept that it'll be a little lighter pink. Anyways, it was going to only have the occasional incidental mention of Ursula and the family. It was mostly going to be about, scene politics and whatnot, but it very quickly ended up being the kind of the Noah versus Ursula show. So here we are. It's kind of I do still have stuff about Noah and his bandmates, and actually at the time of this recording in early December of 2024, the current main plot is about Noah and his Bon Jovi tribute band and crazy fans and all that sort of stuff, and that's kind of going to be the arc that leads up to Christmas, because the end of it will kind of get back to, it'll have kind of like a callback, but it'll be Noah drags Ursula to the mall for Christmas shopping, and then we have the callback with the Bon Jovi fans and whatnot. But figure out how to have this in here. So, anyways, and shopping. That's something else we can talk about with Ursula. Ursula hates shopping. I can't blame her. Granted, Ursula's she's a little bit lazy, as far as she's concerned. Anything that she doesn't want to do is either daddy's job or mommy's job, or, it's somebody else's job. Her job is to watch cartoons and eat cereal and pizza. So she gets very annoyed when she doesn't get that wish. So it's kind of an ongoing joke that, her parents around Christmas will drag her to the mall to help with the shopping, and she gets very irritated by this whole situation. And Noah has a running bait and switch where he tells her he's taking her to Red Robin, which, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, you may know about Red Robin. They are a fantastic burger joint. I love them dearly. I go more than I should. Let's put it that way. And the Thorsens, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this in the Noah video, but the setting is Victoria, BC. More specifically, they live in Oaklands, Oak Bay, I guess is properly what it's called. But that's the area around the University of Victoria, which is, your very shishy, expensive mansions and all that sort of. There's apartment buildings in Oak Bay, but there's a lot of multi-million-dollar houses. That's not so much where the estate. Well, no, there are a few estates type of, where it's a property with a few acres. I guess that's those tend to be a little bit more up the Saanich Peninsula, closer to where Well, there's different pockets in Victoria. Anyways, so they live in that area. Why was I mentioning that? Oh, okay. Just the living situation. So what it is that definitely Noah cannot afford a house in Oak Bay, and neither would Ruth, but her parents are well off. So they actually live in Ruth's parents' guest house, which we will discuss when we get to... I'm going to have a video drawing Noah's mother-in-law, Agnes. So Agnes gets annoyed by this situation, but I mean, she did agree to it, so... but, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, she has her lawn, and they've got the pool and all this, and then she has to look across at, you know, her son-in-law's stupid chickens and other, you know, other things that annoy Agnes. Many things annoy Agnes. Ursula takes after Grandma Agnes a fair bit. Although she doesn't hate the chickens, she just feels that, you know, she refuses to assist with them in any way because they are Noah's responsibility. And she refuses to do chicken chores. Anyways, there was a different point that I was going to make about this. Oh, I was talking about Red Robin. Hey, I actually picked up my thread. So, many a time, Noah has tricked Ursula in the comics by telling her, we're going to Red Robin. But what he really means is we're going to go run a bunch of other errands, or I'm going to drag you to the mall, and then afterwards we'll go to Red Robin eventually. You'd think by now she would have clued in to be suspicious when her pops promises to take her to Red Robin. But again, what was I saying about sitcom rules? If she learned that lesson, you know, then we wouldn't be in sitcom rules, right? So I should probably do this bit with a brush, but I'm kind of liking... I don't know, the scratchy sound is probably not so much fun, but I'm liking the scratchy texture of the little raised dais carpet sort of thing. Scratchy, 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 scratch, scratchy, 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 scratch. Yeah, we'll just fade it out like that. Okay, I don't know if I need anything else that's going to be that lime green kind of color. And I think I mentioned some of it before, but we got a variety of inks here. So, and some of these are like 20 years old, so I don't even know. Like, I haven't seen Higgins ink in a long time, so... But that doesn't mean it's not available. I just don't know, because I know there's some things that I thought were discontinued and long gone, and then I find out that, oh, they still have that in the UK, or they still have that in New York, or whatever. So I don't know. But these are transparent, waterproof inks. So there's that. We've got... This is a gold calligraphy ink that I got from Michaels. I guess I should put my hand there. That's probably better. We got some of this Aquafine by Dollar Rowney. We got some Liquitex acrylic ink. FW, which is Dollar Romney. I think that's it for brands. I think so. You can also, if you're going to Michael's, they do have the Artist Loft. I think they have like their knockoff of the Liquitex and FW inks. I haven't tried them, so I don't know if they're any good or not. But the thing with Michaels, of course, is if you just kind of keep looking, sooner or later you find them with a buy one get one free, or like, you know, discount, or you can use the coupons and just be patient and go one at a time. And of course, art supply stores like. Oh, this is funny. The bottle said blue. That sure as hell looks purple to me. But whatever, that's fine. And just trying to think. Oh, I think I need to put some more green back there. There we go. Now we have Santa's boot defined a little better. So, what color should we make Santa's throne? I think a nice gold. Why not? You know, different places, different malls do different things with their Santa's workshop furniture. Okay, that's getting to be annoying. You know what? I think we're going to bring back our little brush friend from the first day. Not that the ink's not coming out, but just that, you know, to cover big areas. I feel like the throne, I think it'd just be expedient to do it this way. Which is to say, because I'm lazy, that's why. There we go. That is so much better. And I guess the top of that needs to be up there, like that. Some of these, of course, get like super detailed, but it's a cartoon. We ain't gonna get super detailed here. It will make it kind of like a padded, you know, tufted in the back sort of thing, but we're gonna put the outline. And again, I'm not worried about that because when I photograph, I'm gonna crop out the top, so. There we go. And ta-da! There. But before I go further with that, I think what I'm going to do is then the front of this step is going to be that darker green. There we go. Love that from the old Higgins. I mean, I have my supply from many moons ago. You know where I should actually look to see if the Higgins stuff is still around would be there's a shop in downtown Victoria called the Papery, and I know they have a lot of like calligraphy stuff, so they may have that there. But we'll just kind of. Does the texture match the other green? No. Do we care? Not really. Alright. I'm gonna get back in with the pen to make a bunch of kind of little textured strokes for the Christmas tree here. Didn't pour out the kind of olive greeny color that I used in her father's mistletoe bowl the other day. I might pour some of that out. To add in. So what else can we say about Ursula? Well, her favorite stuffed animal is Mr. T-Rex. Like I said, she loves dinosaurs. And at this point, she's got an overactive imagination. I mean, okay, I can relate to that. It was the same at her age and even now. But she there was one comic where she explained to her father that her wedding will be the only non-boring one because she's going to have dinosaurs there. And Noah thinks that she means like a dinosaur decoration theme. But no, she explains that Mr. T-Rex told her his friends will be back from outer space by then. So, I guess that means if we go in the traditional style where the bride's family pays for the wedding, I guess that means Noah had better budget extra for a barbecue if there's going to be a bunch of dinosaurs fresh from outer space and come back. Weird little squelching sounds, but this is Olive Green by, again, FW. So, man, is it bubbly when it first comes out, but that's fine. So I'm filming this, honestly, I am filming some stuff early. As much as possible. It's my first week of December. It's kind of crazy. So it is the Sunday before this goes up. I'm doing that. I don't know if y'all have been watching some of the other, not necessarily officially called Vlogmas, but Christmas content online. I'm really enjoying Hannah Ricketts. Her tours of all the shops in London. So like how Harrods decorates, how Selfridges decorates, etc. It's been kind of interesting. We really don't have anything, well, mind you, where I live it's kind of like, here's the Walmart displays. But, on the other hand, we're not paying, $30 per each Christmas bauble. But it's so much fun to look and watch those sorts of videos. There we go. And hang on, I will be right back. Sorry about that. Had another interruption. Cartoonists interrupt us today. Had to go attend to something. So I think what I was saying was a little bit about, Christmas store tour videos from like the UK and Europe and whatnot. So, definitely highly recommend Hannah Ricketts' videos. They're so gorgeous. And can't say that my own decor is that gorgeous. I mean, I got some nice stuff, but I also, last year, actually didn't really have time or inclination to do much decorating. I think for Ursula's hair, I'm going to use the brush again. Sorry about break of thought. I've got tons, but then I'm busy, I'm lazy, distracted. I got too much clutter and all this. So last year didn't really get much decorating done. This year, don't know if I'll get any decorating done, but, well, I should say at home. I'm going to be helping with decorations for my church hall later this week, so that'll be fun, and that'll kind of scratch that itch, I think, where I can then go, okay, now I don't feel bad about not having bothered to get stuff set up at home, because, I put in my time, I got my fix at church, so it's it's kind of how I usually handle, like, for example, flower arranging and all that. I have a garden. I have lots of flowers. I love flowers, but I rarely bother. That said, what did I just say? Hang on. I'll take another thing. I did. Is it showing? Can't see where I'm aimed at. Oh, like aimed at the bottom of the vase. I did get myself some the other day. So I can't say I never do the flower arranging at home, but I usually don't. It's usually more of I do help with flowers at church type of thing, and then it's like, then I don't have to care so much about, well, obviously I don't have to care so much anyways about flowers, but, you know, I get that fix at church. So then I can just leave the flowers that grow in my garden, they can stay in the garden, and I can look at them through the windows. When I did that pasture, I don't know if anything showed up. Mind you, it's December, so it would all look like crap there. I do see a couple tiny pink blossoms on my rose campion patch that's right outside this window. But otherwise, it's kind of mostly dead. I've got a palm tree right outside that window where I should probably go and remove the lower dead branches off, but they kind of give shade. So, anyways, not that I personally need shade, but, you know, they give shade to things I planted under them. When I got the house a few years ago, and the palm tree was shorter, so the canopy was lower. Gotta add some turquoise for Ursula's mittens, I think, because I forgot to put that on the palette. Oof. I just used this the other day. It sure wanted to seal up well. Something kind of... You ever have where you have the thought that sort of fleetingly passes through your brain, and then by the time you notice it and want to develop it and say something about it, the details are all gone? Something like that was about to go through my brain, and now it's just gone. Oh well. It wasn't about the garden, it was about YouTube. YouTube store tours or something like that. Oh well. There was a point, I'm sure. Should I do Ursula's shoes turquoise? Just think. Well, that kind of stand out, but I also don't want to. Usually I draw Ursula with red shoes. But Santa's going to be red, and that might look weird. What have I got here? Oh. Quote-unquote red violet. I used this color yesterday. It's a really deep kind of purplish pink. So let's do her shoes that color. It looks a lot deeper on the palette than it does on the paper. There. Alright, time to break out the red, and I think I'm going to do this with a brush too, because we've got a lot of red to cover. Actually, before I color Santa in, I guess we should color in his, should do his chair. So, this is the kind of metallic lime green. Oops. Yeah, that'll get covered when I'm being a little messy, that's why the whoops. keep paranoidally looking over my shoulder going, is it going to beep and tell me the hard drive is full again? Obviously, I need to sit down and delete some old videos. I mean, I think the camera still has... In fact, I know it still has, raw footage from when I was doing the Nick White show. And that was, well, there was an episode, I guess, that I put out last January. But basically, that was a 2022 project. And I have all of that stuff copied onto my video hard drive. So, it doesn't need to still be on the camera. Especially because I'm filming, I'm filming the real version, like the vertical version with my cell phone, which is up there. Actually, does it show? No. Oh, today it doesn't actually show in the footage. I think the last couple Vlogmases, it was showing just a little bit in the top corner. But the wide angle is an old Canon camcorder from like 2008, and hey, it still works, so we're still using it. What else can we say about Ursula? Of course, it's like say, but also focus on the brush that is a little bit wanting to do its own thing. Trying to keep that under control. Well, I don't know how well the lettering shows up yet. Obviously, we'll come and do the black outlines and the lettering at the very end. But Ursula is very much trying to dictate how things are going to go to Santa. You got all that, Kringle? Remember, we know where you live. Now, how is she planning to get up to the North Pole? I don't know. But I guess it is true. She does know where Santa lives, if she can figure out how to get there. She doesn't pay much attention to geography. Well, really doesn't pay much attention to anything her teacher tells her. So, she may not realize how far it is from Victoria to the North Pole. Probably one of those things of going, well, it's got to be at least 20 minutes by car. Long enough to whine, are we there yet, like 4 times. So, that is blue. Where did I put it? Squeeze out a little more neutral gray, just to give a base color to his boots and his mitts and his belt. And then I can detail it afterwards. Might kind of do the same a little bit with... Ooh, that's way more gray than I wanted. Hey, put that there. I like mixing stuff off screen. I need some clean water. I want to also put a little bit of... I think that's what I got on my brush now should work. You want to put just the faintest hint of color onto Ursula's little scroll here, right? There we go. So that's just mixing a little bit of yellow and too much, but still a little bit of neutral gray by Higgins, and then a lot of water, and now we get And who knows, I don't even know if that shows off on camera, but in person I can tell that's got a little bit of a tint and some dimensionality to it, so that's what I wanted. And Ursula, I talked about character development with the last couple, so I guess I should do that for Ursula too. Initially, I was thinking Ursula would be a toddler in age, but then I just envisioned her making snappy comebacks and whatnot, and that kind of requires being a little bit older, right? So, and thus, and funny detail, I guess. Not funny, haha, so much, but anyways, I'm gonna blot that because that's gonna run into her pink shoes. Here, a little bit, but I don't want too much. Anyways, I don't have kids. I never had kids. When I was in my 20s, I didn't want kids. I regret it now, but anyways, the reason why I mentioned that is, of course, I'm like coming up with this character for Ursula, and because I don't have kids, I was like, I have no idea how old she would actually be talking and acting like this. So I consulted with my brother, who does have a kid, and he came back very confidently, said, she's either 8 or 9 years old, but she's definitely in 3rd grade. I'm like, okay. I'll put her at 8 with a birthday in June, and 3rd grade. There you go. So that's that was how Ursula ended up becoming Ursula. Now I think I'm gonna take that same like slightly off-white that I put in the scroll, maybe a little bit more gray, because I want to put a little. Let's see how this goes, but a little bit, no, that might be a bit too much. A little bit of fluff, dimension and shade in the fluff. Ah! Excuse me. That was not what I wanted to do. Well, that fluff is now got some red in it. Always got to be a little cautious with the wet on wet, or wet next to wet, because it was not supposed to become actually wet. And of course everything's going to puddle at the bottom end here, you know, of the thing, because it's on an angle, so it's coming down just a little bit. And Santa himself is going to have a little shading. And then his hat, as long as I remember not to touch where I should actually just dab that. And I should probably do that with the corner of his sleeve as well, because that looks like it could break through at any second. There. I should probably do that here. Like if you wait a certain amount of time to do it, it won't immediately fill back up from above. There. So we got a little bit, and then right, I need to put some base on his butt. Leaving kind of a white outline, which, well, I habitually do that. Some people tell you shouldn't. Most people tell you shouldn't. Probably be a good place to use Q-tips, but then I'd have to get up and go to the bathroom and fetch them, and I don't feel like doing that at this point. Here we go in there. There you go. So, I want to add any other color before I wash things out. Well, pause the video to go wash things out and then come back with the black outlines. You know what? I think we're good, because I think I'm going to leave the background around her dialogue kind of just with what it's got. So, we will be right back. This is interesting. The sun has come out. It only took me like 2 minutes to wash off my palette, but in that time the sun has come out, and who knows, as it wraps around to the west, we may end up with more weird lighting patterns on here, but I will move the camera again to look at the little flower arranging, because it looks real pretty with the sun coming in. Like looking at the viewfinder, I can't see it. There it is, but there you go. Kind of a nice little whatever. Anyways, back to work. There we go. And it is outline time. So we're going to, and I have to remember that this stuff is still fairly wet, so I need to watch where I stick my pinky. And am I blocking? I'm blocking a little bit, but things are coming out a little gray because I think there was water in this nib, but that's fine. It is definitely weird. It's fine, but it's not fine, you know what I mean? Let me try to dab that out. Here's my little test. Okay. I was still looking a little watery on the nib, but I guess I got that. Pardon my sniffling. I'm allergic to everything, it seems. Not like super allergic, but just enough to be annoying. Still looking a little runny on here. Mind you, I didn't shake the bottle up, so maybe that's it, but you shouldn't have to shake up India ink. But maybe I do. Maybe I do. Is this the case that they don't make it like they used to, or it's just... This is the one that I opened for the first time the other day, but so it should be fine. And we will... Well, okay, that's definitely different than what I was just getting. Whether it's going to translate when we get up there, we'll see. I'm going to dab that off because I got it on the edge. I'm going to have black fingertips, but that's fine. Still looks a little light to me, but whatever. Whatever. I got bothered to do a speech bubble around that because I kind of forgot when I was doing the balls. Well, I'm going to do the too lazy for a speech bubble sort of version of that, which might look weird, but you know, it is what it is. So now on to some outlines, and this time I actually am going to do the start top and work down, because otherwise I'm going to be royally screwed. And it might also give some time for these areas to dry just a wee bit more before I get to them. So some of these mall Santa chairs are very ornate, but we'll assume that this one really isn't, but it's got some tufty sort of dots in it. I guess I should move slightly up so I'm not reaching over like Frankenstein's monster trying to walk with his hands forward, right? So got some red goober, half dry red in there, but not that it really matters, but it's a weird texture when you're going over it. It's kind of gummy. Tiny complaints about things that are not visible really on camera, so they make no sense to anybody other than me. Probably that's, well, one could probably say that about everything I say in these little videos. Nothing makes sense to anyone other than me. There we go. So yeah, that's getting some weird drag. Don't make me outline this with a brush. I swear to God. I'm going to try a different nib, though. Some nibs work better than others in certain circumstances. And that one's it's a newer nib, but I like the old standby. As you can tell, this one's been used because of how goobered up with black it is, but yeah, see that one's working, running over the wet stuff a lot better. Now the thing with the Thorsens is everybody in this universe has kind of bug eyes, but Santa's eyes are kind of hidden behind his glasses, which makes it awkward. And it's kind of a half pissed off, half terrified sort of mouth, but there we go. And see, we got some fluff or whatever there. At this point I'm going to have to move over to dealing with Ursula, otherwise I'll be dragging across Santa when I'm do whatever, but we got to deal with the tree first. As you can tell, I'm not particularly detailed in outlining, kind of just rough. The this I'll outline a little more because that's a hard edge. So there we go. And Ursula's hair, well, we have seen it down. Usually when she gets up after, first thing in the morning, or when she gets up in the middle of the night for her, but later in the evening. If her folks are making noise or watching, YouTube videos or something, it pisses her off because, some of us have to get up early to watch cartoons, especially if it's, Friday night or, if it's not a school night, then she will definitely be up and whining. And I don't mind that the outline kind of doesn't touch where the actual hair is, but that's kind of fun. Let's give her some pissed off looking eyebrows. A vaguely threatening little aura. Ursula's going to grow up to be a Karen. We can already tell that. I'm just going to kind of scribble in here a little bit so it hides the fact that I probably should have brought the hair color in a little more. But then that means I need to do this, which is fine. I think I had like one cartoon of her wearing her hair in a bun, but that was not by her choice. Her Granny Thorsen, Noah's mother, insisted on signing Ursula up for ballet yet again this year, even though Ursula has made it amply clear that she does not like ballet. So we do have one image of her in the dance shop, with her hair in a bun, trying on a leotard, and Noah telling her, "Smile and wave for Granny." And she is not smiling or waving. She looks very, very angry. Here we go. Puffy coats. I started drawing this the first winter, and then I was like, oh, why did I pick that as her coat style? Because it's kind of a pain in the butt. But, it kind of somehow, something about the puffy, channel quilted bubble sort of jacket just kind of looks like the sort of thing Ursula would wear. Although, of course, I would say that now because I've been drawing it. This will be my third winter of drawing this jacket on her. But, Ursula's... I do have Ursula as a little bit particular. She does sometimes wear puffy dresses if it's like her princess costume or whatnot. But generally speaking, she likes things very kind of plain. Most of the time she's wearing like a forest green t-shirt, sometimes an orange t-shirt. Very occasionally a pink t-shirt. I have actually, was like one sort of Icelandic style sweater that she got from her Granny Thorsen that she does sometimes wear. I don't draw her in it very often because lazy. And then I did draw her just last week wearing a kind of a raspberry purplish pink sweater, but that was like, it was very plain, no crazy detailing like an Icelandic sweater would have. those things where I should probably at some point do. I don't think I have done a cartoon, but I was kind of thinking, maybe for back to school next year, where Noah wants to get her a T-shirt that has some graphic or a logo or something on it, and Ursula wants to know how much she's getting paid to promote the brand, and put their name across her chest, because that's valuable real estate, and nobody's paying her to be a billboard. And Noah kind of will just finally give up and just put it back on the shelf after giving up, but. It is something a lot of people don't really think about. It's like, yeah, you buy a T-shirt from a brand and you're emblazoning their name across your chest. You are a walking billboard. But it's a thing where you pay them to advertise to them, which is kind of an interesting, weird concept. To me, anyways. I mean, that said, like, I have band T-shirts and all that. I'm sure at some point I'll make some Noah's Archipelago T-shirts, but bands, I can see it more. I mean, you're kind of advertising that you like this band, and it's kind of like an identity marker or whatever. Whereas, like. I mean, I guess it becomes an identity marker for people who wear, like, Juicy Couture or, remember I don't think it was the 90s, I think it was more recently than that, but, like, when the Bebe t-shirts, or BB, whatever, however you say that brand, when those were huge and everyone, like, every chick was going wearing a Bebe t-shirt, where it said baby across their boobs in, rhinestones. And unless you think I'm pointing the finger, I wore one too, because they were cool. And it's like, oh, sparkly or whatever. I don't know why the hell I wore one. But, it's just kind of an interesting thing. Some people really get into that, where they want every t-shirt to be advertising a brand or something. And it's a little, when you think about it, it's kind of weird, because it's making well, I guess advertising is part of culture, but normally not. Normally it's a part of culture that's kind of tolerated, as opposed to, oh my god, I want that, I want to be in on that. But we're a bizarre species, that's all I can say. So there we go. Do I want to add anything else to it? If I try to put in a speech bubble, it's going to look weird because I have a couple of those dots too close to the letters and the tree. So I guess that means we is done. So let me stick my nib in the water that's just off camera, and put the lid on the India ink before I spill any. Managed to get some on my wrist. Well, obviously most of that ink that you're seeing is under my skin, but a little smudge of India ink there. And I think it's time to sign this. Yeah, where am I? Oh, I'm going to take advantage of this little area of no color underneath Santa's throne. Oops, did I say we're done? I forgot the step. Ah! Well, that's like, not 2 lines, 4 lines. Hang on. We will finish that up. I gotta get the water out because it's gonna be otherwise a gray line, not a black line. Actually, I guess I should section and like that. There we go. So much for the false alarm of it was done, but it wasn't really done. Now it's done. Now. There. Yeah, I could probably fiddle with this for a while and find new things that could be. I think if I go too much further, I'm going to overwork it. So, there we go. Thanks for watching my little Vlogmas video series. And tomorrow's video is going to be about back to Ricky B. the Rock and Roll Rat, but not Ricky himself. We are going to do a little cartoon of his perpetually angry half-mouse buddy, Miles. So, there you go. Ursula Thorsen, everyone. Making threats at Santa and thinking this will somehow not put her on the naughty list. Mind you, I guess she's gotten away with it in previous years, even if she hasn't quite figured out that Santa is actually Mommy and Daddy and Grandma and Grandpa and Granny Thorsen. But there you go. So, happy Vlogmas, happy Christmas. It's still a while to go yet, but I don't know when you're watching this. You could be watching this on Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas and all the rest, and we'll see you for the next video. Bye. I don't think I did a quick zoom in scan on the details of this Ursula drawing, so therefore I'm tacking it on at the end, and if when I come to do the editing I find out that I had actually done it, well then you'll never see this portion because it will have already been shot. But let's go ahead and zoom in. That's sharp. So we got these little bubbles in the background. We got Kris Kringle looking kind of half angry, half terrified. We have Ursula being Ursula and her ever-scrolling list of demands. And there we go.